In at lane 5 is Giant Brown, lane 6, DeAndre Leslie, and lane 7, Maurice Gregory.
It's a breezy afternoon here at the National Stadium in Kingston as we get ready for Velocity Fest 17. You're watching live on Jay Dublow Sports as some of the very best in the sport prepare to light up the track this evening. Look out for action across the men's 100, 200, and women's 200 and 400. On the track now, we have our Paralympic athletes, and they are called back after a faulty start. We'll have to wait and see. I'm Daniel Dowie alongside Naja Williams and Trudy, and we're glad to have you with us. Stay tuned as we continue with the Heat 3 of the Paralympic men's 100 meters. Najwa will give you the lineup.
Currently on the track in lane 1 is Arica Lawrence. In lane 3 is Amir Smith. In lane 4 we have Malik Smith. In lane 5 we have Jaheim Brown, and in lane 7 we have Dejane Leslie. And in lane 7 we have Maurice Gregory.
Running away from the rest of the field, Jai Edwards in second at the moment with Jaheim Brown in third. 13:24, the time on the clock for DeAndre Leslie.
That seems to have been DeAndre Leslie taking heat number 3 for the Jamaica Paralympic athletes. 13:24 his time.
For Leslie Edwards. 13:56. 14:15 for Jaheim Brown. Still inside the Paralympic program here at Velocity Fest 17. And we go to the 400 meters. That's scheduled to get off at 4:30.
So just to give you a quick overview of the order of events, we've started off with the men's and women's Paralympic 100 meters, and now we're going to head over to the Paralympic men's 400 meter that will run as a straight final, and then we should also have a Paralympic men's 4x100 meters. Then we're going to see the start of the women's 100 meter. Of course, we know Shalane Fraser-Price will be running. Names like Kemba Nelson, Tina Clayton, and Natasha Morrison in the lineup as well. On the men's side, we'll have sprinters represented, Olympians across 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. We'll have the 800 meters later on, and both hurdles, long hurdles, the 400 meter hurdles, and also the 110 meter hurdles for men, no 100 meter hurdles for women. And we also have field events taking place here today at the Velocity Fest 17. We have the long jump for men, the discus throw for women, shot put for men taking place as well, and high jump for men will take place later this evening at 6, and long jump for women also, shot put for women, discus throw for men, triple jump for men and women, and javelin throw for men, and that will round out the field events taking place today. So we'll definitely get to see action across quite a different, mainly sprint events, of course, hence Velocity Fest. And only just one 800-meter race will run on the men's side. So again, we're waiting on the 400-meter straight final run for the Paralympic athletes. They are preparing for the World Paralympic Championships. That will be all the way in September. But they also need competition and have to compete and get themselves prepared for that as well. So we'll see. We have 4 here listed to compete as we wait for the officials to finish setting up for the next event on track.
The next event on the track is the 400-meter Paralympic men finals, and we'll be running by Jamarly Richards, that's T47, Shane Hudson, that's also T47, Rory Collins, that's T20, and Delmar Campbell, that's T20.
Now, if you're wondering where to find live results, you can tune in to the Rasta Athletics app to get live results of this meet. You're watching the live stream here on Jay Dublow Sports, but if you want to stay tuned to the live results, you can go to the App Store and download Rasta Athletics app to track the live results. We can see the athletes on the track warming up, getting ready to compete, see where they're at. It's quite early in the season, and a long season it will be for some of these athletes starting out, and we get to see, hopefully everything goes well, Shalane Fraser-Pryce opening her season later this evening. She'll run the 100 meters. Of course, technically, this might be her second race of the season. Did you see her run at her son's sports day earlier this week? So technically, this may be her official opening season debut, but we got to see a glimpse of her running at sports day recently. So all these athletes looking to test form and build momentum in the early season. Over 20 nationalities represented. Quite a bit athletes from, of course, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados out, Bahamas, all the way from Japan, India, USA, Canada, Canada, Great Britain, Zambia, and Ugandans competing here. So a mix of Caribbean athletes, pretty rich representation here today. So looking forward to see that.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, especially because a lot of Caribbean athletes need the competition, the senior athletes, because currently the youth are competing at Carifta. The seniors need the competition, and since it's early in the season, we need to start our competition. So it's great that they're starting early in the season for the senior athletes. Athletes competing today like Shelly Ann Fraser Price, Natasha Morrison, Tina Clayton, Kemba Milson, Antonio Watson, and so on. We're excited to see them today. Hope you are too.
8:05, you're needed at the finish line. We're standing by for the 400 meters for Paralympic men.
I can see some of the Paralympic men on the track getting ready for the start of the 400 meters for Paralympic men. We can go over the lineup again.
Currently on the track in lane 3, we have Jamarly Richards. In lane 5, there's Rory Collins. And in lane 6, it's Delmar Campbell.
And lane 6, Delmar Campbell.
So they will have to get the track cleared. A lot of athletes warming up on the infield and on the back straightaway. I'm surprised they haven't cleared that up as yet. This is a 400 meters. They will be going around the entire track. And it seems that they're going to start the race. Despite a lot of traffic being on the back straightaway. Athletes now asked to stand up, and they're officially asking the athletes to clear the track so the race can begin.
You need to clear that area, remove all cones and any other.
So Jamarly Richards in lane 3,
obstructions.
Rory Collins in lane 5,
Athletes on the backstretch.
and Delmar Campbell in lane 6. Our Paralympic athletes take to the track. So the track just about cleared up.
Please clear the cones from the track at the backstretch. All cones need to be removed. Starting blocks, if any, and any other equipment or paraphernalia, please remove it from the backstretch immediately. Thank you.
This is the men's 400 meter run for Paralympic men. 3 athletes on the track. Jamarly Richards, lane 3. Delmar Campbell, lane 6. Rory Collins, lane 5.
So the century for the 400 meters for Paralympic men.
So Campbell out well as Delmar Campbell
And they have returned within half an hour.
with the early lead as Jamarli Richards starts to push down the back straight away. So 3 men in this race, and it's Richards who is leading with authority into the home straight away. Jamarli Richards, representing in the T47 category for Jamaica Paralympic athletes, working his way down the home straight away. Jamarli Richards, a Paralympic 400 meter athlete, 52:37 the flash time, rounded down to 52:36 seconds for Richards.
Comes to the line now.
And Delmar Campbell
52:36 for Richards
in second, and Rory Collins finished up in third.
And 68:39 for Collins.
Always good to see our Paralympic athletes in action. Again, they have their World Para-Athletic Championships all the way down in September. So they are preparing for that meet and representing well here today. Jamarli Richards, your winner. Just to review the order of events for you if you're just joining us, we just watched the Paralympic men's 400 meters. Before that, we had the men's and women's Paralympic 100 meters. And no, you did not miss the regular section 100 meters for men's and women. That's coming up at 5 p.m. So just about 25 minutes away. We have next on track the Paralympic men's 4x100 meters, and then after that we'll have the start of the women's senior 100 meters. In heat 1 we'll see Natasha Morrison, Jaden Bennett, Shanika Bascom, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Jura Levy, Shakoria Wallace, and Shavonna Grant. So looking forward to that coming up. We also have the men's 100 meters following that. So there are 3 heats of the women's senior meet 100 meter race, and then we'll have a 2-section final later this evening. And on the men's side we'll have 9 races of the men's 100 meters and a 3-section final later this evening. After the 100s, we'll have the 400 meters, the 800, the 400 meter hurdles, 200 meters, and the 110 meter hurdles for men, followed by the finals of the men's and women's 100 meters.
Be reminded that if you're looking for the results to today's events, you can go to the Roster Athletics app or website to find the results of the Velocity Fest 17. We're currently waiting on the 4x100 meter finals for Paralympic men to start. And in that event, we will have Best Care B, we will have Montego Bay Team A, Best Care A, and Montego Bay Team B for the Paralympic 4x1 men's. Hello, remember we are watching Velocity Fest 17 live on J W J W Sports, the best place to watch track and field in Jamaica. Currently, we're unsure if the 4x1 final for the Paralympic is going to be ran, and if it's not ran, we're going to have to wait till 5 o'clock for the 100 meters women heat 1 to be ran at 5. So we're unsure of the 4x1 Paralympic if it's going to be ran, and if we're going to have to wait till 5 p.m. for the 100 meters women to start.
Yes, currently we don't see any preparations for that relay race. Hearing that only one team has reported, and we'll just have to wait and see if they will run that race, but just hang tight. In another 18 minutes, if we maintain and continue to stick to the time schedule, we'll see Shelley and Fraser Price and all the other athletes in Heat 1 of the women's 100 meters grace the track, and we'll get to see some action, some more action here at Velocity Fest 17. So again, if you're just joining us here on Jay Dublow Sports, we've started off the Velocity Fest 17 with the Paralympic events. Paralympic long jump is currently taking place along with the Paralympic women's shot put. We started off on the track with the Paralympic women's 100 meter. That was a straight race. We also had the men's Paralympic 100 meters, 3 heats of those, and one straight final run of Paralympic men's 400 meters gone not too long ago. We do have listed and actually has now been officially removed from the lineup the men's Paralympic 4x100 meter race. That's no longer going to be contested, and so next event on track is the women's senior 100 meter race sponsored by Grace Kennedy. That race will feature our 5-time Olympian Shelley and Fraser Price in Heat 1, along with Natasha Morrison, Jura Levy, Shakoria Wallace, Shavonna Grant, Shaniqua Bascom, and Jaden Bennett. Then we look to Heat 2. We'll see the likes of Kemba Nelson, Serena Cole, Jonil Smith, Ronisha McGregor. And in Heat 3, you can look out for Antonique Strawn, the Bahamian, Kashika Cameron, and Tina Clayton will represent. So we have some action lined up for you. The women's 100 meter race starting in approximately 15 minutes.
You're needed by the skybox. Stadium electrician, you're needed by the skybox. Stadium electrician, you're needed by the skybox atop the grandstand. Thank you.
We can see the athletes currently. While we're still looking at the clock, that race, the 4x1 100 meters men final, it has been. As you can see, that athletics is where you want to get live. using the Rasta Athletics. And of course, class athlete. So we see the velocity, to name a few, Mighty Maud, event on track is sponsored 100 race. You can tell that we're eating away and open her season, been always high patient waiting for her season. We're seeing all the beats they've and they're to test where they're at. So really looking forward to that.
It's also the Okay, we had small technical difficulties, but we can do nothing about that. That's the ISPs. We're currently setting up for the 100 meter heat 1, sponsored by Grace Kennedy. And in that heat, we have Jaden Bennett, Natasha Morrison, Shaniqua Bascom, Shelly-Ann Fraser Price, Jora Lacona Levy, Sharika Wallace, and Shavana Grant. That race is set to run at 5 p.m. and we're currently setting up on the track for that. We have 5 minutes until the race. We're currently setting up. The race is set to run at 5 p.m. So we have 5 minutes until the race is run.
We are just about 5 minutes away from that moment.
You can see Natasha Morrison there, setting her blocks in lane 3, the bright pink top. A veteran in the event. Here's Shakoria Wallace in lane 7.
The 100 meters for women. The world lead currently held by the American Jamaica Ford, 11.06 seconds. The fastest Jamaican this year is Serena Dockery, 11.08 seconds, done at the Boys and Girls the Championships in the semi-final of the Class 1 100 meters.
So currently on the track we have setting up is Jaden Bennett from UTech, Natasha Morrison from NVP, Shaniqua Bumped, who's from Trinidad but trains at Optimum, Shelly Ann Fraser Price running from lane 5 from Nike, we have Julia Lacombe Levy from Swept, and we have Shakoya Wallace from MVP. We are missing Shavonna Grant on the track, but she signed up for the race.
Is certainly poised to deliver something special here at Velocity Fest 17 in 2025. Competitors for the 100 meters for men, you are needed to report for the start.
It's 5 p.m. Time scheduled for the first race, the first heat of the women's 100 meters. So get ready. Lane 2 we have Bennett. Morrison will run in lane 3. Bascom of Trinidad in 4. Shelly Ann Fraser Price will run out of lane 5. Jura Levy will run from lane 6, and Shakoria Wallace from 7. You can see athletes standing behind their numbers, waiting. It's really windy here at the National Stadium, so nice and cool, but quite windy conditions. As we await the track, officials doing standard testing there. Starters look to be ready.
7 of them listed for this heat number 1 of the 100 meters here. And it is the eagerly anticipated debut.
So again with the lineup.
From lane 2 we have Jaden Bennett, from lane 3 Natasha Morrison, 4 Shanika Bascomp, 5 Shelly Ann Fraser Price, 6 Jora Levy, 7 Shakoya Wallace, and 8 Shavonna Grant.
What the other competitors and herself will deliver here at Velocity Fest 17.
Jada Bennett there, Natasha Morrison, Shelly Ann Fraser Price. Pocket rocket duty today. We saw her earlier making the rounds on social media for running at Zion, her son's sports day, her unofficial season debut. And today on the track at Velocity Fest 17, we get to see the official opener alongside Bennett, Morrison, Bascom, Levy, Wallace. And now Grant on the line.
Let's go with the lineup. Heat number 100 meters for women.
No Grant.
In lane number 2, 11:68 and her best. She represents you.
6 athletes in this first of 3 sections. Morrison looking focused. Bennett there in her UTEC uniform. Bascom, the Trinidadian. And they head towards their blocks.
2015 World Championships finalists, 1085 world best, Natasha Morrison.
Shelley and Fraser Price there.
Lane number 4.
28.52 her number.
Under 23 full by 100 meter bronze medalist, Shaniqua Bascom. In lane number 5, 3 times the Olympic champion.
Jura Levy there.
Champion, 1060 at her best. Let's welcome Shelley
On the left of your screen, in the middle of your screen, there is Shelley and Fraser Price, 5-time Olympian, the Mommy Rocket. Lots of anticipation to see where she's at. 38 years old. This, she's declared, is her final season of competition. The season debut for Shelley and Fraser Price. A clean start here as Shelley and Fraser Price goes to work, and so too Natasha Morrison. Edges Morrison and Fraser Price, and Fraser Price eased it in 10.93 the flash time. Positive 3.1. The wind speed, of course, that's over the wind limit. 10.94 for Shelley and Fraser Price. 11.01 for Natasha Morrison in second, and Bascom, the Trinidadian, 11.28, rounds out the top 3. Positive 3.1 meters per second, the wind. Fraser Price there. Nice, cool, controlled run. A challenge from Morrison mid-race, but the veteran Shelley and Fraser Price stepped forward, composed and smooth to take that first heat. Of course, this is only the heat, the finals to come later. There she is, taking heat number 1 of 3 in the women's 100 meters. So later tonight, we'll get to see Shelley and Fraser Price again as she contests the final. And he too gets ready on the track.
As well as Kashika Cameron and Tina Clayton.
In heat number 2, we'll be having Hannah Faith Bell, Ronisha McGregor, Jonelle Smith, Kemba Nelson, Serena Cole, Lavanya Williams, and Tritania Lowy.
Still have a strong following win indicated by the feather banners just at the right of the finish line. And those banners, of course, importantly.
So things are heating up here at Velocity Fest 17. We just saw Shelley and Fraser Price winning the opening heat of the women's 100 meters race. 3 sections, and we are now awaiting the start of the second section. The likes of Kemba Nelson and Serena Cole in this one, and Janelle Smith. St. Lucian, Hannah Faith Bell, Ronisha McGregor there, Janelle Smith in the Puma orange suit, and Kemba Nelson in the pink Puma fit, and Serena Cole, MVP, runs from lane 6. Lavanya Williams of Elite Track Club in 7. And in lane 8, Tritania Lowe of GC Foster.
We're standing by for heat number 2. Let's go with the lane assignment. In lane number 2, representing Hercules Wimbledon Athletic Club, Hannah Faith Bell. In lane number 3,
athletes start to step forward to their blocks. Anisha McGregor with a smile on her face. Again, quite windy. We saw the wind speed in the first heat with Shelley and Fraser Price being positive 3.1 meters per second. So we know that the wind is in their favor at this moment. A little bit too much because we would like legal times. So the legal wind speed stops at positive 2 meters per second. So we were in excess of that for the first heat. So the ladies looking focused and ready. Serena Cole there in the middle of your screen. And next to her is Lavanya Williams and Tritania Lowe of GC Foster on the outside in lane 8. So there will be a 2-section final. So 16 women will return from these 3 heats later tonight. So there will be a B final and an A final. So very important to be in that top 8 if you want to run in the A final. Look out for Janelle Smith of MVP in lane 4, Kemba Nelson of Elite Track Club in lane 5, Serena Cole of MVP in lane 6. And a false start there from, seems to be McGregor, but we await the decision, the official decision from the judges, the officials.
Break at the start.
So athletes called back.
Heat number 2, 100 meters for women.
Seems to have had some issues with her blocks. Let's see what the judges decide. Again, Bell in lane 2, McGregor lane 3, Smith 4. And it's a yellow card. That's a warning. A warning to the entire field, and so they will all get the opportunity to start again. Nelson in 5, Cole in 6, Williams 7, and Lowe in 8.
Warning delivered to Hannah Faith Bell, lane 2. Sent off for heat number 2. Great start for Kemba Nelson.
Kemba Nelson there in the middle, running well. Serena Cole and Janelle Smith pulling up there, and it's Nelson. Comfortable win there, 11.07 seconds. The flash time, positive 2.3 meters per second. And so it's Nelson, Kemba Nelson and Serena Cole in second, and Lavanya Williams rounding out the top 3. So another wind-aided times again. Very windy conditions here at the National Stadium. Kemba Nelson 11.07 seconds. Serena Cole 11.27 seconds. Lavanya Williams 11.31 seconds. Tritania Lowe 4th 11.38 seconds. And Ronisha McGregor 11.60 seconds. Again, positive 0.23 meters per second. So over the allowable wind speed limit. And that is the second of 3 heats for the women's 100 meters. Of course, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce won the first heat, followed by Natasha Morrison. And we just saw Kemba Nelson winning the second heat, followed by Serena Cole. So we're getting ready for heat number 3.
And in heat number 3, we're hoping to see 7 athletes. In lane 2, would have Paris King. And Anthony Strachan in lane 4, Kashika Cameron in lane 5, Tina Clayton in lane 6, Michael Moody in lane 7, Normally White in lane 8, and Chanel Dawson in lane 3. Chanel Dawson from lane 3 is not starting the event.
And there we have a look at Janelle Smith. Had some difficulties in that race. Seems to have suffered an injury. Very unfortunate to see. As the medical team takes her off the track. So the athletes in the third and final heat section make their way to the blocks.
Here's the lineup. In lane number 2, representing
so again, we have King in lane 2, Strawn in 4, Cameron in 5, Clayton in 6, that's Tina Clayton, and in lane 7, Moody, in lane 8, White, and lane 3 will not start, and that would have been Dawson.
In lane 5, a Pan American 4x1 silver medalist.
So we can see Antonique Strawn there in the pink fit. Tina Clayton in lane 6. Normally White next to her, to the left of your screen. And Normally White to the far left of your screen, representing UTEC. And we can see Strawn, Cameron, Clayton, Moody, White on your screen.
100 meters for women.
King in lane 2, not in the picture yet. There she is. Lane 3 is missing. Fraser-Pryce took the first section. Kemba Nelson took the second section, and this is the third and final heat. Let's see who takes this section. Out well is Cameron of Elite, and it's Tina Clayton. That was nice and easy. Tina Clayton 11.12 seconds, Cameron 11.27 seconds. Positive 2.7 meters per second the wind speed. Very quick and nippy races. Strawn, Antonique Strawn, the Bahamian, all the way down in 4th, 11.62 seconds. And Mikhail Moody of GC Foster was 3rd, 11.45 seconds. So Tina Clayton taking the third and final section of qualification runs for the women's senior 100 meters. They'll return later on for the final. There will be a A and a B final, so we'll await to see how they see those finals. So
we have seen proper, of course, all races have been adjudged to be.
So Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the fastest out of qualification with her 10:94, and we'll start the men's 100 meters. There will be 9 sections, 9 heats, so quite a lot more running, and they will also have 3 finals. So the women will see 2 finals run later. On the men's side, we'll have 3 finals. So in lane 1,
0 meters.
in heat 1,
In Heat 1, Lane 1, we have Zachary Wallace from Magoti, who is not on the track currently. But in Lane 2, we have Jordan James from GC Foster. Lane 3, we have Kishan Thomas. Lane 4, we have Akeem Blake. Lane 5, we have Shakur Williams. 6, Javorn Dunkley. 7, Aubrey Allen. 8, Ivan Ho Brown. Remember, there are 9 heats for the 100 meter and 3 finals for the men. For the women, it's 2 finals and 3 finals for the men.
Medalist over 60 meters, representing Dynamic Speed Track Club, Akeem Blake. In lane number 5, 10:50 at his best, representing Titans, ran formerly of the University of Albany, Shakur Williams. In lane 6, 2024, Carifta under 20 bronze medalist over 100 meters, representing Elite, Javon Dunkley. In lane 7, representing Surf Track Club, Aubrey Allen. And in lane 8, representing UMONA, Ivan Brown.
World Indoor bronze medalist Akeem Blake in lane 4. Keep an eye out for him, as well as Javorn Dunkley Williams and Kishan Thomas in lane 3 from Motorcade Track Club. Athletes asked to stand up. You can see Jordan James of GC Foster in lane 2, Kishan Thomas of Motorcade in lane 3, Akeem Blake, Dynamic Track Club in lane 4, Williams 5, Dunkley 6, Allen 7, and Brown in 8. So again, Akeem Blake in 4. Mishap again, and a little pop of the blocks there from Blake. No replay, so unable to really give you accurate analysis on what happened, but the judges, the finish line judges, there's meet director Bruce James speaking to Akeem Blake, trying to figure out what's going on, and he gestures to his blocks, and now the officials deliberate. Seems there's an issue with the blocks, and the starting officials are addressing those concerns. So hang tight. I'm sure we'll have them back at the line again soon. So doesn't seem to be like there will be any penalizations here. So we'll mark this off as a faulty start. So again, Wallace in lane 1, James in 2, Thomas 3, Blake 4, Williams 5, Dunkley in 6, Allen in 7, and Brown in 8. Get the green flag there, the green card. All go. No warnings. Faulty situation. Now resolved, hopefully.
green light given for all.
So this is the first heat of 9 on the men's 100 meters.
In heat number 1.
7 competitors in this first section: James, Thomas, Blake, Williams, Dunkley, Allen, and Brown. World indoor bronze medalist Akeem Blake in 4. Sent away, clean start, and Blake goes to wake early. It's Blake, Williams, and Dunkley there. So it's Akeem Blake and Shakur Williams of Titans. 10.02 the flash time. Positive 2.6 meters per second.
10:03 for Blake, Williams 10:23, and Dunkley 10:27.
Windy conditions still. Quick run, easy run for Akeem Blake there. Taking the first section. Shakur Williams of Titans Track Club was second, and Javoran Dunkley of Elite was third.
10:03 for Akeem Blake. That's the fastest we've seen, and he has already put the rest of the field on notice.
So it's 10:03 for Akeem Blake to take that section. Shakur Williams of Titans 10.23 seconds. Javoran Dunkley 10.27 seconds. And they round out the top 3. So that was the first of 9 sections.
And currently for heat number 2, we have on the track Christopher Scott of UTEC, Kyle Richards of UEMONA, Jace Witter of GC Foster, Julian Fort of Elite, Yalarcus Martinez from Dominica Republic, from ADEC Nemia, Felix Frances, Daniel Ellis from UTEC, and Yannick Okim from SWEPT. The heat number 2 of the men's 100 meter sponsored by Water.
And on the field, Velocity Fest 17.
So this is the second heat on the track, ready. Christopher Scott in lane 1, Richards in 2, Witter in 3, Delissa in 4, the Panamanian, Fort in 5, Martinez from Dom Republic in 6, Ellis in 7, and Yip in 8. Martinez here, a part of a contingent from Dominican Republic, coached by 400 meter legend Felix Sanchez. So you'll be seeing more of their athletes competing here at the Velocity Fest 17. And Julian Fort, of course, representing Elite Track Club. One to keep your eye on in this race, along with Delissa of Panama in 4. So we've seen all the times this afternoon have been wind aided. That is, they've been over the legal allowable wind speed limit of 2.0 meters per second. So all the races so far in the 100 meters have been over that limit. Windy conditions in the favor of the athletes, depending on how you look at it.
Quick for this one, and they're called back.
Quick start, call back. Julian Fort. I will see what the officials decided. It looked to be a possible false start or a very quick start. very difficult when you don't have the replays to watch what happens in slow motion, but the officials will have the reaction times and be able to make their decisions. And they have decided that it's the all green for all the athletes. So everyone gets the green and no penalties here, no red cards, and athletes to their marks again.
The second time of asking.
Quick start there for Delissa and Fort in the middle of the track there. It's Julian Fort stepping forward with the chain in his mouth, crossing the line first, glances at the clock, 10.17 seconds, 2.2 meters per second the wind speed. Again, windy, but it's coming down. We started off the first heat of the women's race in over positive 3.0 meters per second and getting closer to the legal range with that reading. So things starting to calm down in terms of wind readings. And it's Julian Forth who takes that one from Elite. 10.15 seconds. Delissa, the Panamanian, was second in 10.35 seconds. Same time accredited to Jace Witter of GC Foster, also 10.35 seconds. And that was the second of 9 heats for the men's 100 meters. Next we have heat 3 on the track.
Heat number 3.
And the lineup for heat 3 is seeing in lane 1 we have Davon Whitley, lane 2 Earl Simmons, 3 Dane Crooks, 5 Kadrian Golson, 4 Kadrian Golson, sorry, 5 Xavier Narine, 6 Junior Harris, 7 Nicardo Hines, and 8 Milton Creek. Notable Earl Simmons from St. Vincent's in lane 2 and 3 Milton Creek from the Virgin Islands.
10:46 at his best, representing New Era Track Club, Dane Crooks. In lane 4, 2023 World University Games 100 meter champion, 9:94 at his best, representing Springtech, Kadrian Golson.
Third heat on the track. Kadrian Golson there of Springtech. And the red Adidas Fit running out of lane 4. Keep an eye on him. Dane Crooks in 3. Junior Harris in 6. Xavier Nearin did not start. And so too Milton from the British Virgin Islands. So we have Whiteley, Simmons, Crooks, Golson, Harris, and Hines in this lineup. Sent off and held back. So another call back here as the athletes walk back to the blocks. So again, so far we've had a few callbacks, no penalties, a few warnings, a few green cards. We saw some technical issues with the starting blocks. So the entire field. Oh, and here we see our first red card. So Nicardo Hines in lane 7 has left the track, and so the first red card, first false start awarded for the evening or the afternoon. Athletes back on their marks. Whiteley, Simmons, Crooks, Golson, and Harris. I was just about to say clean start, but
Ricardo Hines had a reaction time of 0.079.
so we see them getting called back again.
Adjudicated
So second time in this
0.4.
heat. This is heat 3 of 9 in the men's 100 meters at the Velocity Fest 17. And again, you're watching on Jay Dublow Sports. Ricardo Hines was removed from lane 7 after getting a false start. He was disqualified. And here is the second false start awarded for the afternoon to lane number 3. It seems Dane Crooks. He looks to be in disbelief, but makes his exit. Okay, so our first 2 red cards in this very race this afternoon. So it's Ricardo Hines out and Dane Crooks out. So we're down to 4 athletes. Whiteley, Simmons, Golson, and Harris. And it's Kadrian Golson of Sprintec and Simmons going well, the St. Vincent. And Golson takes that section. 10.23 seconds for Kadrian Golson. The official time, 10.26 seconds. Positive 2.8 meters per second, the wind speed. Simmons, the St. Vincent, 10.36 per second. And Junior Harris of Swept Track Club, 10.52 seconds for third. And Whiteley of Mona, 10.60 seconds for fourth. So this is the third section, and Golson of Sprintec, he takes that section. First section was taken by Akeem Blake, and the second heat, Julian Fort, and now the third heat won by Kadrian Golson of Sprintec. So next up, heat 4 on the track, and in this section we'll see Amari Officer, Demar Sales of MVP, Taekwondo Tracy of Swept Track Club, Johandres Andujar of Academia Felix Sanchez, Makish Compton, another St. Vincent athlete representing Sprintec, Ramon Barneswell of MVP, Jonathan Houston of Mona, and Ashani Segri of Dynamic Speed Track Club. So Amari Officer in lane 1, Demar Sales of MVP in 2. You can see Taekwondo Tracy there in lane 3, and lane 4, Andujar from Academia Felix Sanchez. It's a track club run by Felix Sanchez, the Olympian Felix Sanchez from Dominican Republic. So his athletes are here competing. And Makish Compton of Sprintec in 5. And lane 6, we see Ramon Barneswell, the ever-improving veteran for MVP, and Jonathan Houston of Mona. And Segri, who should have been in lane 8, did not start. So they head to their marks, and we'll naturally cover the whole field. And they're asked to stand up. Again, Officer, Sales, Tracy, Andujar, Compton, Barneswell, and Houston. This event sponsored by Water. Meet Director Bruce James there, ensuring that we have fewer, preferably no more delays. As we run through the lineup again, Amari Officer in 1, Demar Sales in 2, Taekwondo Tracy in 3, Johandris Anwar in 4, Makish Compton 5, Ramon Barswell 6, and Jonathan Houston in 7. Clean start, and Tracy up early, and so too Compton. So it's Tracy now stepping forward, and it's Makish Compton in second. So Taekwondo Tracy of Swept Track Club takes that one. Heat 4 in 10.24 seconds, positive 2.6 meters per second, the wind speed. So that was Tracy, Compton, and Andujar. Jamaica, St. Vincent, and Dominican Republic rounded out the top 3. The times there, 10.24 seconds for Taekwondo Tracy in first, 10.42 seconds for Makish Compton, the St. Vincent in second, and Johandris Andujar from Dominican Republic, 10.43 seconds in third.
And so far, all the races run this evening have been wind aided. So the wind has been over 2 miles per hour. So this race was 2.6 plus positive 2.6 winds. So they have all been wind aided this evening.
In lane number 1, let's welcome from UTEC, Darnell Nelson. In lane number 2, now representing
currently on the track, we have the next heats.
Jason Lewis. In lane 3,
currently on the track, we have the next heats.
He's from the Dynamic Speed Track Club, Javari Thomas. In lane number 5, as a teenager, as a part of the final of the Commonwealth Games over 110 hurdles. You represent
so heat 5, sponsored by Water, is a full heat with lane 1, Denar Nelson from UTEC, Jane Lewis from Swept, Marcellus Moore from the US, Javari Thomas from Dynamic Speed, Dejour Russell from Swept, Ade McPherson from Sprintec, Taveen Heyman from GC Foster, and Denish Main from India, who runs for Racers. Heat number 5, sponsored by Water, is about to be ran.
A full lineup here. Nelson of UTEC in 1, Lewis of Swept in 2, Moore from the USA in 3, Thomas of Dynamic Speed Track Club in 4, Russell in Swept in 5, McPherson of Sprintec in 6, Hyman of GC Foster 7, and Main of Racers representing India in 8. Marcellus Moore of the USA in lane 3.
Sent off. Great start for Tamari Thomas. They call him Tech. Also traveling well, McPherson of Sprintec. McPherson and Thomas. McPherson glances over and gets one up on Javari Thomas, 10.15. And then McPherson, Sprintec, positive 4.0 meters per second. Russell, given the nod.
So we see that section, it's Dejour Russell who takes that heat 5, 10.14 seconds. Same time awarded to Odane McPherson of Sprintec in second, 10.14, and Marcellus Moore, the American, 10.19. And it's adjusted. and it's still adjusting, so we'll just wait to see. We'll just wait on those official results. Saying positive 4.0 meters per second. That was some powerful tailwind. Well over the allowable wind speed limit. Again, it's gotten even windier here at the National Stadium. And so we are still awaiting the official results. So they have Javari Thomas credited as the winner, and Odine McPherson gets second, same time awarded for Thompson and McPherson, 10.14 seconds, and Marcellus Moore, the American, third, 10.19 seconds.
Representing UJEC, Barbados, Deshaun Seeley.
So heat number 6 on the track.
In lane 1, we have Darian Skirt from Antigua, representing the Swept Track Club. 2, we have Tashawn Seeley from Barbados, representing UTEC. Ashane Romain Smith from Dynamic Speed Club. Mazinia Barrett from MT Elite. Maria Burke, also from Barbados, in MVP. Emmanuel Archibald from Guyana, representing Swept. Tashawn Barnes in lane 7, representing GC Foster. And Adam Abdullah of the Maldives, representing Sprint Tech.
Bronze medalist at the World Under 20 Games in 2016. He goes in lane 5.
So another full lineup here in lanes heat 6. Skerritt, Seeley, Smith, Barrett, Burke, Archibald, Barnes, and Ibadullah in lane 8. Fair game. They're all looking for a spot in one of 3 finals to be run later.
Sent off and the call back.
So the gun went off a second time. Athletes called back. As they head back to the starting blocks, the start of the 100 meters. That's the event that we're currently watching. This is Heat 6. And we have a full lineup here, the second full lineup we've had since the start of the men's 100 meters. Heat 6 of 9. That's the number we're on. And later this evening, we'll get to watch the finals. There will be 3 finals, an A, B, and C final. So the men you see competing, they're competing for a spot in one of those finals to get an opportunity to run a second time this evening and get a warning to Adam Ibadullah from Maldives, represents Sprint Tech. So he gets a warning.
Well, because of the inordinate time he took to get into the set position. Thus disrupting the start. They go back to the blocks.
So warning to Ibadullah as we go through the lineup again. Barnes, Archibald, Burke, Barrett, Smith, Seeley, and Skerritt. Clean start there, and Archibald of Guyana goes well, and Smith as well from Dynamic Speed Track Club, and Archibald takes this one, followed by Ashani Smith of Dynamic Speed Track Club. .24 seconds the flash time, rounded to 10.25 seconds, and our first legal wind speed of the afternoon in these 100 meters, men or women, positive 1.3 meters per second. The wind reading, and so 10.25 seconds for Archibald of Guyana, 10.27 seconds for Barrett of MT Elite, he gets second, and Ronnie Smith, Shawnee Smith.
Heat number 7 comes up next.
Shawnee Smith was second actually in 10.27 seconds, and Tayshawn Barnes was third from GC Foster in 10.46 seconds. Barrett was in fact fourth with 10.53 seconds. So that was the result of heat number 6 of 9 of the men's 100 meters, sponsored by Water here at the Velocity Fest 17.
Here's heat number 7. In lane 1, representing Surf Track Club, Devon Life Site. In lane 2, representing UTEP, Adain Somerville. In lane 3, the reigning national.
So we're on to heat number 7 now.
And in lane 1, we have Devon Life Site representing the Swept. Lane 2, we have Adain Somerville representing UTEC. 3, Brian Levelled for Optimum. 4, Jadine Morgan for Dynamic Speed Club. 5, Javon Martherson for Racers. 6, DeAndre Daly for Adidas. Andre Dacers in lane 7 for GC Foster, and lane 8 we have Deshaun Gordon for the New Era.
A well-stacked field here. Lysite in 1, Somerville 2, Lavelle in 3, Morgan 4, Matheson 5, Daly 6, Dakers 7, and Gordon 8. Look out for Brian Lavelle, Morgan, Matheson, and Daly. This Matheson not in the lineup, sorry. Lane 5 is empty, and it's Daly, Morgan, Lavelle, Somerville, Lysite, Dakers, Gordon, and Gordon. Yes. Clean start there, and Brian Lavelle up early, running well, cool and composed. 10.03 for Brian Lavelle. Well run, positive 1.9 meters per second, rounded up to 10.05 seconds. Nice easy run there for Brian Lavelle. Daly, DeAndre Daly of Adidas, second in 10.13 seconds. And Andre Dakers of GC Foster, 10.47 seconds. He was third. So that rounds out the top 3. Positive 1.9 meters per second, the wind reading, and that is absolutely legal. So Brian Lavelle with the fastest wind legal time of the evening for the men's qualifiers. 10.05.
Among others as well, Jabari Thomas, Ade McPherson, Julian Ford, Marcellus Moore, and Shakur Williams, as well as like
so that was heat 7 out of 9, and now we move on to heat number 8. Coming up next on the track, a mix of Jamaicans, Canadians, Barbadians, and Japanese athletes lined up.
Heat number 8.
That's if everyone reports to the line.
In lane 1.
So the athletes of heat number 8 get their blocks ready.
In heat number 8, in lane 1, we have Johan Ogivi from Dynamic Speed Track Club. In 2, we have Kamani Fletcher from GC Foster. 3, Brendan Rodney from Canada representing Sprit Tech. In lane 4, we have Kuron Griffith from Barbados representing Racer Speed Club. 5, we have Andre Kerr from Motorcade. In lane 6, we have Kanaide Katsuse from Japan, representing Racers. And in lane 8, not on the screen yet, we have Jahim Allen from GC Foster. Lane 7 is currently empty.
Lane 6, representing Racers, Barrow Japan, Kendai Katsusu. And in lane 8, from GC Foster College, Jahim Allen.
Ogilvy, Fletcher, Rodney, Griffith, Kerr, Katsuse, and Allen in this lineup. Center away and clean start there. The Canadian Rodney in lane 3 running well. So too Adrian Carr of Motorcade Track Club powers through at the last minute there to take heat number 8. So that's Adrian Carr of Motorcade Track Club.
That time to win legal, Rodney 10:41. And Kieran Griffith of Racers 10:42.
10:32, the official time for Adrian Carr, the winner of heat number 8 of 9, represents Motorcade Track Club. Brendan Rodney, the Canadian, was second, 10.41 seconds. Kieran Griffith of Racers was third, 10.42 seconds. Positive 1.3 meters per second, the wind speed.
Adrian Carr makes the B final alongside Delissa at the moment.
So the windy conditions officially, we can say, starting to calm down. We are getting wind legal readings now for the 100 meters, and we hope that continues later on in about an hour or so or two when we come back for the finals of the men and women's 100 meters. Heat number 9 on the track now.
In lane 1, we have Chance Sigri from Herbert Morrison. Alonzo Wins from Bethlehem Moravian College. 3, we have Mario Williams representing MVP. Lane 4, we have Adam Musgrave from the Bahamas representing Bahamas Speed Dynamics Elite. In 5, we have Nigel Ellis representing Elite. Michael Campbell takes lane 6 representing MVP. Lane 7, we have Stetlali Kane from Zambia, representing Racers. Lane 8, we have Roma Sewell representing MVP, and Orlando Witt from lane 2 is not starting the race.
So the final section, heat 9 out of 9. Sigri, Williams, Musgrove, Ellis, Campbell, Kakene, and Sewell.
Sent off, great start for Campbell.
So Campbell and Ellis there in the middle. Ellis steps forward to win this one. It's Nigel Ellis, 10.06 seconds. The flash time. Heat number 7 was won by Brian Lavelle, 10.05. That was the fastest win read, legal time for the night in qualifications on the men's side. Heat number 8 was won by Adrian Carr of Motorcade Track Club in 10.32 seconds, and that was also a legal reading. And the final heat,
set by Salwa
Heat number
Aigazan.
9 of the men's 100 meters was won by Nigel Ellis in 10.05 seconds, but that was win aided with positive points 3.1 meters per second win reading. So we're getting ready now for the women's 400 meter race, courtesy of Sade Williams. And the ladies are now on the track.
And in lane 2, we will have Amelia Jeffrey from GC Foster. In lane 3, we will have Ashanti Moore from Sprintec. Lane 4, we will have Rhonda White from Adidas. Giselle Shaw takes lane 5, representing MVP. Lane 6, we'll have Hannah Charles from St. Lucia, representing UTEC. In lane 8, we'll have Brianna Powell, representing UTEC as well. And in lane 7, we'll have Ashaith Hassan from the Maldives. From GC Foster is not starting the race. So we'll have Brianna Powell from lane 8 representing UTEC. So repeat, we have Jeffrey, Moore, White, Shaw, Charles, and Powell running the race.
Thank you, Najwa. So the first section of the women's 400 meters on the track. Moore in 3, White in 4, Shaw in 5, Charles in 6, and Powell all the way out in lane 8. .400-meter hurdler Rhonda White in lane 4, and they are off and called back. Always a surprise when that happens in the longer races, but it happened, and athletes are now walking back to their blocks. See meet director speaking to Ashanti Moore of Sprintec. Short sprinter, runs the 100 and the 200 meters, and she's lined up here for this 400 meters. And what the yellow, she gets a warning. So warning shown to Ashanti Moore in lane 3 as the ladies take their marks again a second time. And they're off a clean start here.
400 meters heat number 1 for women.
So
solid start for Hannah Charles of UTEC in lane number 6.
So that's Charles of UTEC and Ashanti Moore on the inside there, traveling well. And Charles, the St. Lucian, pushing well into the 200 meters there. A bold run from Charles there of UTEC and St. Lucia, coming out of the final turn into the straightaway in the lead. And Rhonda White now, the 400 meter hurdler, steps forward to challenge, and Moore is there with her. It's Moore, Charles, and White battling. Charles going well, maintains her lead, and Moore sneaks up past White to snag second place. 54-54 for Charles. Solid win there for the St. Lucian. Hannah Charles representing UTEC, 54-54. The time, 54-71 for Ashanti Moore for second, and Rhonda White, 54-90 for third. might have been a personal best for Hannah Charles, the St. Lucian. So positive results for her there. Not just a win, but I think that might be a personal best.
We're standing by for the second heat. 400 meters. And it is courtesy of Shade Williams.
So just confirming that was a personal best for Anna Charles, the St. Lucian. Previous time best for her was 54.85. Today she ran 54.54. So shaving off 0.3 of a second off her personal best.
In lane 6, the Tokyo Olympics 5th place finisher in the 400 meters, twice a silver medalist in the 4x4s at the World Championships, representing Optimum Track Club, Candice McLeod.
We're now moving on to the 400 meters final A, sponsored by Seda Williams, with Christian Chiga from Uganda in lane 2, Jadine Williams from Sprintec in lane 3, Seda Williams from Barbados, the event she's sponsoring, the MVP. Lane 6, we have Cadiz McLeod from Optimum. Lane 7, we have Kellyanne Beckford from MVP. Lane 8, we have Milgres Duan Garcia from Academia, Felix Sanchez. And Shanice Salmon has not started the race.
Thanks, Najwa. So it's Christine Shecker in 2, Jodine Williams 3, Shade Williams 5, Candice McLeod 6, Kellyanne Beckford 7, Milagros Garcia in 8. World Championship bronze medalist and Barbadian Olympian Shade Williams in lane 5. She sponsors this race. I think that means she intends to win it. So Candice McLeod in the lineup in lane 6, Beckford 7, Garcia 8, and Williams 3. So Williams goes to work early, and Candice McLeod closing the distance, the stagger on Candice McLeod there, and Jodine Williams moves well on the inside as well. So it's Williams running well, both Williams running well, Jodine Williams and Shade Williams, and Kellyanne Beckford on the outside. And it's now Shade stepping forward, coming out of the final turn into the straightaway. She leads this race. The Barbadian athlete, Shade Williams, down the straightaway. She's running. And it's there's Cheyenne Salmon in second. 51.26, the flash time for Shade Williams. And surprised to see Cheyenne Salmon there. We had her as not starting, but she in fact ran and was second in this race, won by Shade Williams, the race sponsor. 51.27 for Shade Williams. Cheyenne Salmon running 52.2 seconds, and Jodine Williams running 53.39 seconds to round out the top 3. So Williams, Shade Williams taking this one, Cheyenne Salmon in second, and Jodine Williams in third. So that was the section 2. We now move on to the men's 400. There will be 5 straight final runs. We start with final E. And Naja will give you the lineup.
The men's 400, sponsored by KFC, with finals E. In lane 2, we'll have Sean Gardner from UTEC. 3, Christopher Gibson from MVP. 4, Ryan Campbell from Elite. 5, Rashawn Richards from UEMONA. 6, Demark Stevenson from UEMONA as well. Omali Harry from Guyana takes lane 7, representing GC Foster, and Mark Manley, lane 8, representing UTEC.
Sprint Tech women walking off there. Jodine Williams, Ashanti Moore, and Cheyenne Salmon after running that 400-meter run. Walking off the track there. The start of the men's race on the way. Gardner in 2, Gibson in 3, Richards in Campbell in 4, Richards in 5, Stevenson in 6, Harry in 7, Manley in 8. So that's Sean Gardner of UTEC, 2, Christopher Gibson, MVP 3, Rayon Campbell, Elite 4, Rashawn Richards, UEMONA 5, Demark Stevenson, UEMONA 6, Omali Harry, GC Foster 7, Mark Manley, UTEC 8. Final E of the men's 400 meters, and Mark Manley of UTEC goes out quickly on the outside in lane 8, and then we Ryan Campbell there on the inside for Elite running well. Campbell going well down the straightaway.
On the outside, Mark Manley also trying to keep it.
Manley still going well on the outside, but Ryan Campbell on the inside in the lead, coming into the home straightaway, well ahead of the field, starting to feel the burn from that aggressive opening, but he's not being challenged at this time. Ryan Campbell of Elite running well, and he will take first final in 48.49 seconds, and that's Ryan Campbell of Elite, 48.49 the flash time, and it stands as the official time.
Coffee did say gratitude is a must. 48.49 for Ryan Campbell of Elite.
48.49 for Ryan Campbell of Elite. He takes the first final for the men's 400 meter race. Mark Manley from lane 8, representing UTEC, was second, 49.30 seconds, and same time awarded to Rashawn Richards of UEMONA, who in third.
49.295 for Manley.
Demark Stevenson was fourth in 50.02 seconds. Christopher Gibson fifth in 50.63 seconds, and Omali Harry sixth in 51.04 seconds, and Sean Gardner seventh in 51.67 seconds. So that was final E. And we move up to final D. So 5 runs, E, D, C, B, and A, straight final runs, and we're on to final D. Here's the lineup.
We're going to have in lane 2, we have Jadon Burke from Bethlehem Moravian College. Lane 3, we'll have Matthew Morris from UTEC. Lane 4, we'll have Romaria Nation representing GC Foster. 5, we'll have Blaine Buckle representing UEMONA. 6, we'll have Jamila Young from Miko. Hashim Daniel takes lane 7 from GC Foster, and lane 8 is Antoine Williams, who did not start the race.
And they're called back.
So athletes called back here in the second final. Final D of the men's 400 meters. Athletes in the lineup: Jado, Burke, Bethlehem, Moravian College, Matthew Morris, UTEC, Romeria Nation, GC Foster, Blaine Buckle, Huey Mona, Jamil Young, Michael, Hashim Daniel, GC Foster. So again, Burke in 2, Morris in 3, Nation 4, Buckle 5, Young 6, Morris, Daniel is 7, and Morris of UTEC in lane 3 was disqualified. Showing a red card. Wow. We don't see that too often in the 400 meters, but we just saw it here. Matthew Morris of UTEC is out. 5 athletes remain: Burke, Nation, Buckle, Young, and Daniel.
Sent off the second time of asking. Hashim Daniel of GC Foster College in lane 7. Getting a fine start. Blaine Buckle.
So that's Blaine Buckle there in the red. In Huey Mona running well. And Nation of GC Foster running there well behind him as well. You can see Buckle going well into the 200 meters. And coming into the home straight away, it's still Buckle of Huey Mona. And Jamil Young of Michael on the outside. Huey Mona. And Nation on the inside. Speeds past Buckle of GC Foster. Here it is. Nation of GC Foster. Young steps up for second, so Nation takes that one. Romeria Nation of GC Foster in 47.78 seconds. And Jamil Young of Michael second in 42 seconds, and Blaine Buckle of Huey Mona fading back to third in 49.07 seconds. Hashim Daniel of GC Foster and St. Vincent was fourth in 49.17 seconds, and Jado Burke 50.56 seconds for fifth.
For the next event, Final C, we'll have Ryan Weber in lane 1 from UTEC, Andrea Smith from lane 2 from the NVP, Shaquille Gordon in lane 3 from GC Foster. Lane 4 will be Daniel Mulgenia from Zambia. Wow. Running for the Racers Track Club. Lane 5 will have Najee Mikel from UTEC. Lane 6 will have Thomas Mwibe, also from Zambia, running for the Racers Track Club. Lane 7 will have Derek Grant for GC Foster. And lane 8 will have Brandon Harris representing New Era.
Why did you say wow? You think Zambia is too far to come to a meet here in Jamaica? 2 Zambian athletes in this one as well.
Yes, I was very surprised that people even from so far want to train in Jamaica and even compete at these events.
Oh, definitely no surprise. We have athletes from all 5 continents training in Jamaica over the years. And in fact, athletes from 4 continents represented here at the Velocity Fest 17. Yes, I checked it. Over 20 countries from 4 continents. No Australians, so all the other continents. I'm sure you know your geography. Weber in 1, UTEC, Smith MVP 2, Gordon GC Foster 3, Mulenga Racers 4, Mikhail UTEC 5, Mebe Racers 6, Grant GC Foster 7, Harris New Era 8.
Looking forward to quicker times as it unwinds here.
Mulenga of Zambia running well in the red there of Racers, representing Racers. Going well is the Zambian athlete Mulenga as we pass the 200 mark into that final turn. It's Mulenga still in the lead, and Grant of GC Foster on the outside in lane 7, but it's all Mulenga, the Zambian athlete who represents Racers, winning with authority. Massive lead there, 47.05 the flash time for David Mulenga, representing Racers and Zambia. Najee Mikiel nipped Grant on the line for second, 48.35 seconds, and Derek Grant of GC Foster third in 48.44 seconds.
We're standing by for the penultimate 400-meter race for men.
And to the penultimate final B, the 400. In lane 1, we'll have Laurie Gallimore from GC Foster. Lane 2, we'll have Genevieve John representing JC, who's from St. Lucia. Lane 3, we'll have Emil Gordon representing UTEC. 4, Jeremy Bembridge from Racers Track Club. 5, Kemar Davis representing Dynamic Speed Track Club. 6, Kennedy Luchembe, who's also from Zambia, representing Racers. Marcus Hutchinson takes lane 7, representing Miko. And Zachary Wallace from Magoti is taking lane 8.
Okay, we saw the Zambian athlete Mulenga take the previous section, and his teammate and training partner Luchembe runs from lane 6. All of them representing Racers. So Leroy Gallimore in 1, Genevieve John of JC and St. Lucia, Emil Gordon 3, Jeremy Bembridge 4, Kemar Davis 5, Kennedy Luchembe 6, Marcus Hutchinson 7, Zachary Wallace 8. And no Wallace actually, he does not start. Clean start here for the penultimate final of the men's 400, and is Luchembe, the Zambian, out early, and Bembridge in the red, the tall figure going down the back straightaway, running well. So it's Bembridge and Luchembe based on the stagger. So Bembridge, both of them running for Racers. It's Bembridge and Luchembe. Bembridge there, the tall figure in the middle of the track on the right, and Luchembe steps forward, steps past Bembridge. Is Luchembe, the Zambian, taking this penultimate section of the men's 400 meter fastest time so far, 46.18 seconds. Official time 46.21 seconds. So Luchembe follows his teammate who won the previous section, Malenga, and speeds things up a bit, winning in the fastest time we've seen so far, 46.21 seconds. Kennedy Luchembe representing Zambia and Racers. Jeremy Brembridge of Racers was second, 47.18 seconds, and Emil Gordon of UTEC was third, 48.15 seconds.
We're now at the A finals. The 400-meter men sponsored by KFC. Let's go through the participants. Lane 1 will have Jalen Diet from Antigua representing MVP Track Club. Lane 2 will have Wilbur Encarnacion representing Academia Felix Sanchez from the Dominican Republic. 3 will have Zeba Brown from Swept. 4 will have Patrick Niambe, also from Zambia, as the last two winners of the races, representing Racers Track Club. 5 will have Wendell Miller from Bahamas representing MVP. 6 will have DeAndre Watkins representing the Elite. 7 will have Demish Gay representing Sprintec, and 8 will have Delaney Kennedy representing Optimum.
In finals at the World Championships on multiple occasions, Demish Gay. Lane number 5 representing MVP. 45.57 is best.
This is the final section. A well-stacked field, well-seated. Javier Brown, another Zambian athlete, Nwambe of Racers, Wendell Miller, the Bahamian Olympian, DeAndre Watkins, the Jamaican Olympian, Demish Gay, the Jamaican Olympian, and Delana Kennedy of Optimum Track Club. A quality field, Wilbur Encarnacion, representing Dominican Republic, and Academia Felix Sanchez Club, and Jalen Diet in 1. So, interesting lineup here. Watkin, he was a challenger in the Grand Slam track a few weeks ago here at the National Stadium. Did a season's best there, 45.5. So I'm sure he'll be looking to better that. Today, Demishke in the lineup as well. So Diet in 1, Encarnacion in 2, Brown in 3, Nyambe in 4, Watkin in 6, Gay in 7, Kennedy in 8, and Miller from Bahamas. An MVP will not start. So lane 5 is empty. Athletes sent to their marks. So Diet, Encarnacion, Brown, Nyambe, Watkin, Gay, and Kennedy. Look out for DeAndre Watkin in 6, Nyambe in 4, and Gay in 7. And don't be surprised to see a hearty run from Kennedy out in 8.
For this one.
And a false start. Again, so another false start we're seeing in these 400 meters. Again, not the most popular race or common race to see false starts happening, but they do happen. And we've had one disqualification in this event so far. And let's see what the officials determine. She's standing in lane 3, and that's Javier Brown of Swept, and she gives him a warning. That's a yellow card. A warning to Javier Brown of Swept Track Club. So clean break for the entire field as they head to their marks again. Temperatures are cooling down here at the National Stadium. Men's 400 meter final on track. Clean break in the final race here of the men's 400 meters. And DeAndre Watkin running well on the outside in lane 6. And Javier Brown running well in lane 3. So it's Watkins going well. And Javier Brown running well in lane 3. So it's Javier Brown coming out into the straightaway in the lead, and Demish Gay stepping forward on the outside in lane 7. So it's Gay, and then Nauyambe, the Zambian, steps forward to win in 45.78 seconds with a strong surge there towards the finish. It was Patrick Nawambe of Racers and Zambia. 45.80 steps forward in the last few meters there to take this one, representing Racers. Demish Gay of Sprintec 46.03 seconds, and Javier Brown ran a stellar 300 meters, finished third for Swept in 46.11 seconds. And Delana Kennedy was fourth for Optimum Track Club in 46.30 seconds. And Encarnacion, Dominican Republic, 46.98 seconds. And Diet of Antigua was sixth in 48.50 seconds. So that concludes the men's 400 meters here at the Velocity Fest 17. And we are getting ready for next event on track. That would be the men's 800 meters, and it will be one final run, and following the 800 meters we'll have the 400 meter hurdles for women and the 400 meter hurdles for men, followed by the 200 meters for men and women. The women will run first, and then we'll have the 110 meter hurdles, and we'll begin the women's 100 meter finals at 7:30 Jamaica time. And we're just about 15 minutes behind schedule. The 800 meters is scheduled to run at 6:20, and it's currently 6:35 p.m. Jamaican time. And here is the lineup for the 800 meters.
And the next event, the 800 meter final, sponsored by On The Run. The lineup we have is lane 2, Shaq Shand, representing GC Foster. Lane 3, Kevin Harriott, also representing GC Foster. 4, Siobhan Wardlow, representing UTEC. 5, Conroy Robinson, representing UEMONA. 6, Devontae Motek, representing UTEC. In 7, we'll have Kimodli O'Malley. And in lane 8, we'll have Nathaniel Wallace, representing GC Foster.
We're standing by for 800 meter action.
Two laps around the track for 800 meters next. Waiting for that event to get underway. Shakshan in 2, Kevin Harriott in 3, Siobhan Wardlow 4, Conroy Robinson 5, Devontae Montague 6, Kimolidi O'Mealy 7, and Nathaniel Wallace in 8. 3 from GC Foster, 2 from UTEC, 1 from UEMONA, and 1 running unattached.
Kindly asking the athletes on the back stretch to clear the field, clear the area. The 800 meters set to go off. Athletes on the back stretch, please clear the area. Thank you so much.
So if you want to follow the live results, be sure to download the Rasta Athletics app or log on to Rasta Athletics website, and you can follow along with the live results for the Velocity Fest 17. And you're watching Jay Dublow Sports, and we are on standby for the men's 800 meter final. Shand of UTEC, Harriet. Shand of GC Foster, Harriet of GC Foster, Montague. So that's Shand, Harriet in the white. Shand GC Foster there in lane 2. And Montague of UTEC breaking. And Wallace of GC Foster.
Good over 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters. Has represented Jamaica at the 5,000 meters at the Greater Games. Nathaniel Wallace in charge in the quicker of the middle distance.
So Nathaniel Wallace is in charge. He's in the front.
Montague second, nicely in third. And Shan also there for GC Foster College. He now moves into
so
third.
they go to the bell laps for Nathaniel Wallace of GC Foster in the lead, and they continue to make their way into the second lap of the 800 meters. So it's GC Foster 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Wallace, Harriet and Shand, and Montague of UTEC in fourth. So Wallace ways ahead of the field. So it's still all Nathaniel Wallace of GC Foster. About to enter the final straight away. And GC Foster 1, 2, 3 at the moment, and Montague of UTEC still in fourth. It's Wallace making his way to the finish line after a solid run. His teammates trying to close on him, but not tonight. It's Nathaniel Wallace of GC Foster who takes the men's 800 meter final in 1 minute 77 seconds. And flashed the official time now is 1 minute 57.80 seconds. The official time for Nathaniel Wallace of GC Foster. His teammate Harriet credited with second, 1 minute 58.76 seconds. And Shand of GC Foster 1 minute 59.02 seconds. Rounds out the top three, and Montague, the fourth athlete in this race, 2 minutes 01.24 seconds. One and done for that event. And as we wait for the women's 400 meter hurdles, sponsored by SDF, Sports Development Foundation.
Action going on the field, the triple jump, sponsored by MVP.
And that 800 meter run that you just watched was sponsored by Underrun. So 400 meter hurdles for women next up.
In this Underrun sponsored triple jump.
One straight final run for this event. Only 5 athletes listed to compete. And we'll see how many of them turn up to the line to run this race. Najwa will give you the lineup.
The lineup for the 400 meter hurdles, we have Deandra Harris representing UTEC in lane 3. Shanique Walker representing Academia Felix Sanchez, lane 4. 5 would be Amelia Rose Briggs Good representing UEMONA from Great Britain. Lane 6 would be Mikery Espinal from Dominican Republic. And in lane 7, we would have Helia Henry representing Excelsior.
She leads Annalisa Redmond of Guyana, 5.88. Agitalia Low.
So if you're wondering what's happening, we're waiting for the women's 400-meter hurdles event. The officials are currently setting up the hurdles on the track as we are on standby for that event. Getting closer to the start of the women's 400-meter hurdles. As you see the athletes now setting their blocks. The hurdles seem to be almost all the way up around the track. A few still being put up on the back stretch. And in the 200-meter turn, so setup of the hurdle is still taking place as the athletes get their blocks set and tested and prepare for this race. Deandra Harris in 3 of UTEC and Sanique Walker, Jamaican who trains in Dominican Republic with Felix Sanchez. She will run out of lane 4. Amelia Briggs Good representing Great Britain and Yui Mona will run out of lane 5. Micheri Espinal representing Dominican Republic will run out of lane 6. And it seems lane 7 is empty.
All men for 400 meters hurdles report to the call room immediately.
So athletes testing their strides to the first and second hurdle there. Nice warm up as they prepare to run in the 400-meter hurdles final, sponsored by SDF, the Sports Development Foundation. We'll have one straight run of the 400-meter hurdles, and
this event is sponsored.
And we think we have gotten the go-ahead to start the race, so we run that lineup for you again.
The lineup for the 400 meters hurdles with lane 3, DeAndre Harris, representing UTEC. 4, Shanique Walker from Academia Felix Sanchez. 5, we'll have Amelia Brixgood, representing UMona from Great Britain. And 6, we'll have Mekere Brito Espanol from Academia Felix Sanchez.
So 4 ladies competing in this section: Harris, Walker, Briggsgood, and Espinal. Walker and Espinal teammates, training partners, training in the Dominican Republic under the guidance of Felix Sanchez. And Harris representing UTEC in 3, Briggsgood representing UEMONA in 5.
They're set off and running for this one. 400 meters hurdles.
Espinal out early, clears first there, the Dominican Republic athlete, and now Walker of Jamaica moves down the back straight. She's in the lead now, Sanique Walker going down, clearing those hurdles, approaching hurdle 4 there, hurdle 5 at the 200 mark, stuttering to 6 there, but Sanique Walker in the lead. So it's Sanique Walker coming into the straightaway. In the lead is Sanique Walker, still leading, clearing hurdle 9 there, and the final barrier coming up now. And Sanique Walker clears successfully, running towards the finish line. Sanique Walker in 57.85 seconds. To win the women's 400 meter hurdles. Sanique Walker 57.86, the official time. Espinal, her teammate, 59.39 seconds, and Harris third, 59.82 seconds. Briggsgood of UEMONA 1 minute 2.21 seconds. So again, that was Sanique Walker taking the women's 400 meter hurdles in 57.86 seconds, and her teammates, who represents the Dominican Republic, Michelle Espinal, was second in 59.39 seconds. So next event on track, it will be the men's 400 meter hurdles.
The men's 400 meter hurdles, also sponsored by STF, will have lane 3 featuring Malachi Needham from New Era, lane 4 Demar Murray from Titans, 5 Denick Luke from Dominica representing the Racers Track Club, 6 Tyrese Hyman representing Titans, 7 Ajoni Barrett representing New Era.
Hurdle height being adjusted for the men's. The men.
Meters hurdles for men. Lane 7.
So Denick Luke will not start. He was scheduled to be in lane 5. But we do have Malachi Needham of New Era Track Club in lane 3. Demar Murray in lane 4 of Titans. Tyrese Hyman in 6 Titans, and Johnny Barrett of New Era in 7.
Athletes, please clear the back stretch area. Thank you.
Women's long jump. As we head back to the start of the men's 400-meter hurdles final. Needham in 3, Murray in 4, Hyman in 6, Barrett in 7. 2 from New Era, 2 from Titans.
Long jump action. Annalisa Redwood has gone 6.64 in the 4th round, taking over the lead. Hansen, who had the lead prior at 6.42, now has to respond. Let's see how this one goes.
Clean start for the men's 400-meter hurdles here. Pretty even at the first hurdle. Murray in 4, running well. Needham in 3, falling back. But it's Demar Murray running well. Demar Murray of Titans running well. Clearing the 7th barrier there and moves towards hurdle number 8. It's Murray still in charge into the home straightaway, clearing hurdle 9 there. And Tyrese Hyman finishing strong, but it's Murray and Hyman heading to the line, and and Hyman may have just dipped out Murray on the line. 50.9 the flash time. And it was pretty close on the line, and it looks like it's Hyman, Tyrese Hyman, who gets the win. 50.93 seconds. And Demar Murray second in 50.97 seconds. And Needham all the way back in 55.91 seconds. And a DNF there for a Johnny Barrett. So next event on track will be the women's 200-meter final. That would be a straight final run. And so one race of that for the women. And on the men's side, we will have 4 finals of the straight final runs of the men's 200 meters. And we'll have the lineup for the women's 200 meters just for you in just a second.
For women and men, that's the next track event here at Velocity Fest 17.
The lineup for the women's 200 meter final, sponsored by SDF, is lane 2, Xavier Shafiu from the Maldives, running for Sprint Tech. Lane 3, Annalisa Redmond from Guyana, running for Bethlehem Moravian College. Lane 4 will have Milagros Garcia from the Dominican Republic, representing Academia Felix Sanchez. Lane 5 will have Aliyah Baker from Elite. Lane 6 will have Tia Clayton representing the MVP. Lane 7 will have Roshia McGregor representing Uwimona. And lane 8 will have Shamira Williams representing Elite.
Competitors for the 200 meters for men and women, you're needed at the start area of that event. Competitors for the 200 meters for women and men, you're needed at the start area for that event. The 200 meters next on track. The SDF sponsored women's 200 meters.
Women's 200 meter next on track.
All competitors for the 110 meters hurdles for men, please report to the call room. All competitors for the 110 meters hurdles for men, please report to the call room immediately.
Women's long jump also going on. Tisana Hansen, formerly Hickling, currently in the lead. 6.42 meters her winning jump, actually. That event's still going on, actually. And Tisana Hansen in the lead for Puma. 6.42 meters. Tritania Lowe of Anguilla, representing GC Foster, she is in second with a mark of 6.26 meters. And Annalisa Redman, representing Bethlehem Moravian College, in third place in the women's long jump with 5.88 meters. So Redman competing in the long jump currently and listed to compete in this 200 meters. So we'll see if she walks over and doubles up on her event, listed for both events, as the numbers make their way around the track. Athletes for the women's 200 meters now on track, setting their blocks and getting ready. It will be one straight final here. Seven athletes down to compete. Back to the long jump. Powell of UTEC there. In lane 2, we expect to see Ziva Shafo of Sprintec. In lane 3, Annalisa Redman. She's currently competing in the long jump. And it seems like she has shown up. In lane 4, Milagros Garcia, Dam Republic. Lane 5, Alia Baker, Elite. In lane 6, Tia Clayton, MVP. Lane 7, Ranisha McGregor, Yui Mona. And lane 8, Shamira Williams of Elite. foul attempt there in the long jump. As the meet organizers get everything ready for that 200 meters. Sure, you're eager to see the result. Tia Clayton running from lane 6. Ranisha McGregor 7 and Shamira Williams 8. Alia Baker in 5, Garcia 4, Redmond 3, and Shafo in 2. On standby for the start of the 200 meters for women.
False jump for the long jump.
We're standing by for the 200 meters for women. Let's go with the lineup. We begin with the lane number 8.
8. Annalisa Redman, who's also doing the long jump, is no longer participating in the 200 meters. She is not starting. So to go over the list once more. Shamara Williams in lane 8 from Elite. In lane 7, Ranisha McGregor representing Igiwimona. Tia Clayton representing MVP would run out of lane 6. Alia Baker from Elite is running from lane 5. Lane 4 we have Malia Garcia from Academia Sanchez. And lane 2 will be Viva Shafo representing Sprintec, and she's from the Maldives.
Over the 100 meters at the Paralympic Games, Tia Clayton. In lane 5, representing lead performance.
All eyes, or most of the eyes, on Tia Clayton in lane 6.
In lane 4.
Shafo in 2, Garcia in 4, Baker in 5, Clayton in 6, McGregor in 7, and Williams in 8. Women's 200 meters final. Quick start for Tia Clayton, running in lane 6. Alia Baker on the inside going well. So it's Tina Clayton coming into the straightaway in the lead. Clayton and Williams running well on the outside, but it's still Clayton in the lead. And Baker on the inside running well. Tia Clayton all the way there. 23.09 seconds for Tia Clayton. That's the flash time. And stands as the official time for Clayton there, 23.09 seconds, 0.4, positive 0.4, the wind reading. So that was Tia Clayton taking the women's 200 meters, 23.09 seconds. Ranisha McGregor second, 23.34 seconds. Alia Baker faded to third there, 23.37 seconds. And Shamira Williams also fading there to fourth, 23.51. So Tia Clayton, the winner of the women's 200 meters in 23.09 seconds, and Ranisha McGregor second, and Alia Baker third, 23.34 and 23.37 respectively. So that concludes the women's 200 meters. And next on track, we'll have the men's 200 meters. We'll have 4 of those finals, starting with final D.
For the men's 200 meter finals, we will have Kamari Brown representing KC in lane 2, Chance Agree from Herbert Morrison in lane 3. Lane 4 will have Tyrese Ebanks representing GC Foster, Deshant Garden, lane 5 representing New Era, Trey Pennant representing the Racers Track Club from Great Britain in lane 6, Romain Haffendon in lane 7 representing Miko, and Amariam Barrett in lane 8 representing GC Foster.
Lane 3, Chance Agree of Herbert Morrison, and lane 2, Kamari Brown of Kingston College.
All athletes present in this one: Brown, Segree, Ebanks, Gordon, Pennant, Haffenden, and Barrett.
Sent away. And a call back.
Call back there for the first final of 4 finals to be run, and this is section D, and it's called back. Sometimes it's a faulty start and sometimes it's a false start, so we wait to see what the officials decide. Brown in 2, Segree 3, Ebanks 4, and it seems to be a red card shown to lane 3. That's Chance Agree of Herbert Morrison. So schoolboy out there. Brown, Ebanks, Gordon, Pennant, Haffenden, and Barrett.
Sent away the second time of asking. On the outside, traveling very quickly. Barrett.
So Ebanks running well in lane 4, and Gordon in 5 in the center. And for New Era Track Club is Deshaun Gordon running well, leading all the way to the line, and it's Gordon taking that one in 21.42 seconds, the flash time, and no win. Perfect. Official reading there, 0.1 meters per second, and so that's Deshaun Gordon winning in 21.42 seconds, and Tyrese Ebanks 21.54, and Amarian Barrett 21.73 seconds. So that rounds out the top 3 for final D of the men's 200 meters.
We're now getting ready for final C of the men's 200 meters, sponsored by KFC. In lane 4, we will have David Muglena from Zambia representing the Racers Track Club. Sorry. In lane 1, we'll have Ryan Weber, representing UTEC. In lane 2, we'll have Andrea Smith representing the MVP Crack Club. Lane 3, we'll have Shaquille Gordon.
St. Vincent. And lane 1, Dijon Grant of JC.
Sorry about that. We're trying to get the start list for the 200.
They're sent off.
Lane 3, Marcellus Moore. Lane 4, Michael Sharp. Lane 5, Johan Blake. Lane 7, Johannes Andujar. And lane 8, Adam Musgrove. Johan Blake in lane 5. Sharp in Crooks represented, so it's Crooks. Crooks represented, so it's Crooks. Martinez, McDonald, and Watson. So 4 in this final section for the men's 200 meters. 400-meter world champion Antonio Watson runs from lane number 7. And Rasheen McDonald off to a good start. Cuts past Antonio Watson very quickly, and he enters straight away into the lead. It's Rasheen McDonald, and Watson is starting to chase, but McDonald is gone away with this one, 20.58. 20.57 for the official time for Rasheen McDonald, taking this heat. The wind reading negative 1.7 meters per second. Antonio Watson settles for second in 21.08 seconds. So it's Rasheen McDonald in a very nippy 20.57 seconds takes the final race of the men's 200 meters here at the Velocity Fest 17 in 20.57 seconds, and Antonio Watson second in 21.08 seconds, negative 1.7 meters per second, the wind speed. Jan Carlos Martinez of Dom Republic third in 21.27 seconds, and O'Dane Crooks fourth 21.75 seconds. So the next event on track will be the 110-meter hurdles for men, sponsored by KFC.
The start list for the 110-meter hurdles: in lane 2, we'll have Rivon Walking representing KFC, Christian Mota from the Dominican Republic representing Academia, Felix Sanchez. Representing MVP will be Rashid Broadbell running out of lane 4. Adaria Phillips representing MVP will be running from lane 5. Running from lane 6, we'll have Johan Chaveria representing Academia, Felix Sanchez. Joel Bryan representing Urimona will run out of lane 7. Lane 8 will have Clinton Simmons representing GC Foster.
That he did now 2 Saturdays ago at the Grand Slam. We're standing by to see how the men who have lined up for that event will deliver. There's only the Olympic bronze medalist from last year in this field. Should be very, very interesting. We speak of Rashid Broadbell, 110 meters hurdles for men.
They're currently setting up for the 110-meter hurdles finals. That will be sponsored by KFC. I'll go over the track list again. In lane 2, we'll have Revon Walking representing KFC. Lane 3, we'll have Christian Rodriguez Mata from Academia Felix Sanchez. Lane 4, we'll have Rashid Broadbell representing MVP. 5, Odaria Phillips representing MVP. 6, Johan Cavera representing Academia Felix Sanchez. Lane 7, Joel Bryan representing Urimona. And in lane 8, Clinton Simmons representing the GC Foster College.
All 100-meter finalists, male and female, please report to the start of the 100 meters. Thank you.
Next event on track is the men's 110-meter hurdles. So one straight final. And then after that, we'll have the finals of the women's 100 meters. We'll have a 2-section final for the women and a 3-section final for the men. Earlier in the heat, we saw Shelly Fraser Price debut her 2025 season, running the fastest time for all the qualifiers, 10.94 seconds. All the times were wind aided, for the record. And conditions much more favorable now as we remain on standby for the men's 110-meter hurdles and the 100-meter races finals to come afterwards. So in this lineup, we'll have Christian Mota in lane 3 representing Dominican Republic. Rashid Broadbell will run out of lane 4 back at MVP representing MVP. Lane 5, Daria Phillips, also representing MVP, will run from 5. Johan Chavera from Colombia will run from 6. Joel Bryan of Uimona will run from 7. Clinton Simmons of GC Foster will run from 8. And Rayvon Walking from Turks and Caicos does not start.
The Johan Blake Heat, we're going to replay that for you guys that missed it now.
110 meters hurdles for men. In lane number 3.
Johan Blake is running from lane 5 in the pink vest.
In lane number 4. Reigning Commonwealth champion over the distance, Olympic bronze medal last year over 110 meters hurdles from MVP Rashid Broadbell.
That was the
In lane number 5,
200-meter finals with you and Blake in it.
Phillips. In lane number 6.
And
representing Colombia,
he got second to Marcellus Moore from the US, who ran 20.96. Johan Blake ran 20.97. Third was given to Andres Ador, who got 21.4. We're currently looking at the 110-meter hurdles lineup, and the lane assignments are in 3. Christian Rodriguez from Academia, Felix Sanchez. 4. Rashid Broadbell from MVP. 5. Adaria Phillips. 6. Johan Caveira. 7. Joel Bryan. 8. Clinton Simmons. And lane 2 is not starting.
Athletes asked to stand up there. Rashid Broadbell with the dreads running from lane 4. Sub 13 at his best. Pretty early in the season, as he looks to see where he's at in the pink, purplish pink Puma vest. Broadbell, left knee banded up. As we await the start of the men's 110-meter hurdles, Rodriguez Mota of Domrep in 3, Broadbell 4, Phillips 5, Chavera 6, Bryan 7, and Simmons in 8.
That's for the line of Christian Rodriguez Mota, lane 3, Rashid Broadbell in lane 4, Adaria Phillips of MVP lane 5, Johan Chavera of Colombia in lane 6, Joel Bryan of UMO lane 7, and Clinton Simmons of GC Foster in lane 8.
Rodriguez Mota, Broadbell, Phillips, Chavera, Bryan, and Simmons. 6 in this lineup. Look out for Rashid Broadbell running from lane 4. Broadbell up quickly, leading at the first hurdle, leading down the straightaway is Rashid Broadbell, powering away with this one, 13.37 for Rashid Broadbell.
Let's see if that time is finalized at 13:37. It is, and that makes him the fastest Jamaican over the distance this year.
Positive 0.7 meters the wind speed, 13.37 the winning time for Rashid Broadbell. Adaria Phillips, his training partner at MVP, 13.61 seconds per second, and Johan Chavera of Colombia, 13.66 seconds for third. So that's Rashid Broadbell, 13.37 seconds to win that one. Looked a little frustrated with that performance, possibly hoping for a faster time, but a safe run, a win, a victory, finishing healthy for Rashid Broadbell as we look at the men's triple jump. So the officials start taking down the hurdles, removing them off the track, because we have the women's 100 meters next, and followed by the men's finals. Can start to give you the lineup for final B.
For final B for the women's 100 meter, in lane 1 we'll have Shakaria Wallace from MVP, Anthony Strachan representing MVP from the Bahamas. In 3 we'll have Michael Moody representing GC Foster, Julia Levy from Swept, Renisha McGregor from UMONA, Tritrina Lowy from GC Foster, Paris King from Racers, and Hannah Faith Bell from Hercules Wimbledon Athletic Club.
The semi-final for men should have Brendan Rodney, Earl Simmons, Adam Musgrove, Achiro DeLissa, Adrian Carr, Jay Switter, Jason Lewis, and Aubrey Allen. The B final. The listed competitors, Javon Dunkley, Johnny Smith.
In the A final, we'll see Shelly Fraser Price, Kimber Nelson, Tina Clayton, Serena Cole, Natasha Morrison, Kashika Cameron, Shaniqua Bascom, and Lavanya Williams. So stay tuned. Currently on track, the 100 meter final B for women. Two finals in this section, and on the men's side we'll have 3 finals to come, and those start lists are out for you. In the first final we'll have Brendan Rodney, the Canadian Earl Simmons, and Adam Musgrove, Arturo DeLissa, Adrian Carr, Jay Switter, Jason Lewis, Aubrey Allen. They'll run in the C final. In the B final for the men's, we'll have Javon Dunkley, Ashani Smith, Kadrian Golson, Taekwondo Tracy, Shakur Williams, Emmanuel Archibald, and Michael Campbell, and Sitali Kakene. And in the A final for the men to come, we'll have Marcellus Moore, Dane McPherson, DeAndre Daly, Brian Lavelle, Akeem Blake, Nigel Ellis, Javari Thomas, and Julian Fort. So lots of action to come in the women's and men's 100 meter finals.
Currently on the track, we have the women warming up for the 100 meter final B that should be run soon.
We're standing by for the introduction of the B finalists in the 100 meters. Lane number 3.
And it would seem that Sharika Wallace and Anthony Strachan are not starting the race. So we'll start with lane 3, Mikhail Moody from GC Foster College. In 4, we'll have Jura Levy representing Swept. In lane 5, we'll have Ronisha McGregor representing UMONA. Lane 6, we'll have Tritania Lowy representing the GC Foster College. Lane 7, we'll have Paris King representing the Racers. Lane 8, we'll have Hannah Faith Bell representing the Hercules Wimbledon Athletic Club. And in lane, lane 1 and lane 2 are not starting the race.
Tanya Lowe just finished competing in the women's long jump earlier for GC Foster and Vila. Renisha McGregor in lane 5. Drew Levy 4, Michael Moody 3, Paris King 7, and Anna Faith Bell in 8. And they're off, and it's Jura Levy and Moody on the inside there for GC Foster running well, and Levy trying to chase, but it's Mikhail Moody who takes the women's B final in 11:51 the flash time. Mikhail Moody of GC Foster, 11:50 the official time, 0.0 wind speed. Drew Levy second in 11.56, and Renisha McGregor third in 11.60 seconds. Chaitanya Lowe, GC Foster, 11.62 seconds, and Paris King races 12.14 seconds. Hannah Faith Bell, 12.20 seconds. So that's the B final for women. And we move on to what you've all been waiting for. Shalane Fraser Price will run from lane 4.
Let's stand by for the A final.
So this is the A final coming up next, and Naja will give you the lineup.
In lane 1, we'll have Shanika Bascom from Optimum Club. And in 2, we'll have Tashika Cameron running from Elite. Lane 3 will have Natasha Morrison representing MVP. Lane 4 will have the Shelly-Ann Fraser Price representing Nike. Lane 5 will have Kemba Nelson representing Elite. 6 will be Tina Clayton, representing MVP. 7 will have Serena Cole representing MVP as well. And in lane 8 we'll have Levania Williams representing Elite.
So let's hope that all the athletes report to the line. You can see
for the A final of the 100 meters. Let's introduce them from lane number 1.
Let's see.
In lane number 1, she represents Uptown Track Club. Bronze medalist in the 4x100 meters relay and the on the 23 level, representing Trinidad and Tobago, Shanika Bascom. In lane 2, representing Elite, Param 4x1 silver, season
Shanika Ricketts there competing in the triple jump. Women's A final on track.
10.85 seconds at her best.
Lane 4 currently empty. No Shelly-Ann Fraser Price yet. So Shelly-Ann Fraser Price will not run this final. She's missing from lane 4.
Number 6, 2 times the world under 20.
So we saw her in the heat. She has not turned up for the final. 7 women here. Bascom from Trinidad and Optimum. Kashika Cameron Elite. Natasha Morrison 3 for MVP. Kemba Nelson in 5 for Elite. Tina Clayton in 6 for MVP. Serena Cole in 7 for MVP. And Lavanya Williams in 8 for Elite. So Shelly-Ann Fraser Price will not contest this final. Bascom, Cameron Morrison, Nelson in 5, Clayton in 6, Cole in 7, and Williams in 8. So Eyes on Tina Clayton in 6, Kimber Nelson in 5, and Natasha Morrison in 3, Cameron in 2, and Bascom in 1, and Cole in 7, and Williams in 8. No Shelling Fraser Price. Clean start for Kimber Nelson, up running well, and Natasha Morrison going forward, and Tina Clayton and Natasha Morrison. It's Tina Clayton in the lead. It's Tina Clayton gets that. 11.17 for Tina Clayton. Negative 0.9 the wind speed. Morrison second in 11.29 seconds. So that's Tina Clayton taking the win in the women's 200 meter final in 11.17 seconds, negative 0.9 the wind speed. Natasha Morrison, her training partner, 11.29 seconds, and Serena Cole, another training partner, 11.30 seconds. Kimber Nelson credited the same time as Cole, but placed fourth in 11.30 seconds, and Shaniqua Bascom fifth from Optimum Track Club in 11.46 seconds. So no Shelling Fraser Price, but Tina Clayton takes this one in 11.17 seconds. So that concludes the final of the 100 meters for the women. And we will begin with the men's C final.
The men's C final, sponsored by Water, has Brendan Rodney from Sprintech, Earl Simmons from GC Foster. Lane 3 has Adam Musgrove from Bahamas Speed Dynamics Elite. 4, Archer Deslier from Panama. In lane 5, we'll have Adrian Kerr from Motorcade. 6, we'll have Jace Witter from GC Foster. 7, we'll have Jason Lewis representing Swept. And in lane 8, we'll have Aubrey Allen representing Swept.
First of 3 sections in this men's 100 meter finals, the C final. Brendan Rodney, the Canadian Olympian, running from lane 1. Earl Simmons, the St. Vincent, running from 2. Adam Musgrave, the Bahamian, running from 3. Arturo Delissa, the Panamanian, running from 4. And Adrian Carr in 5, representing Motorcade Track Club. Jace Witter, GC Foster, in 6. And Jason Lewis of Swept in 7, and his training partner, Aubrey Allen, also of Swept, in 8. There's a look at the lineup. And Aubrey Allen.
In lane 1, representing
not starting. Lane 8 is empty, but we do have Rodney in 1, Simmons in 2, Musgrove in 3, Delissa in 4, Kerr in 5, Witter in 6, and Lewis in 7.
Lane 4, the Panamanian, Arturo Delissa.
So this is final C. 1 out of 3 B and A finals to come in the men's 100 meters. This is final C. Brendan Rodney, Earl Simmons, Adam Musgrove, Arturo Delissa, Adrian Carr, Jace Witter, Jason Lewis. Favorable conditions here at the National Stadium in Kingston as we get on the way for the start of the men's 100 meter finals, the C final. clean break at the start, and it's pretty even so far. The Panamanian, Delissa, in the blue top, running well, and it's Kerr gets there ahead of Delissa, very close on the line. Arturo Delissa and Adrian Carr of Motorcade Track Club. Carr seems to have edged Delissa, and he does 10:34, the flash time, the official time, sorry, negative 0.4 meters per second, the wind speed. So Adrian Carr of Motorcade Track Club starts off the men's 100-meter finals with a victory in the C section, 10.34 seconds. Arturo Delissa second in 10.35 seconds, and Jace Witter third of GC Foster in 10.39 seconds.
On the track getting ready is the final B for the 100 meters. In lane 1, we'll have Jevron Dunkley representing Elite, Ashani Smith representing Dynamic Track Club, Kadrian Golson representing Sprinted, Taekwondo Tracy representing Swept, Shakur Williams representing Titans. Lane 6, we'll have Emmanuel Archibald representing Swept, 7, Michael Campbell representing MVP, and lane 8, we'll have Setalik Hakeni representing Racers.
Bronze medalist in 2024, the under 20 level, Javon Dunkley. In lane number 2, 10:27 to qualify, personal best of 10:24 from Dynamic Speed Track Club, Ashani Smith. In lane number 3, the 2023 World University Games, the champion over 100 meters, 9.94 seconds at his best, representing Sprint Tech.
Okay, so all athletes reporting. Javarn Dunkley in lane 1, Ashani Smith 2, Kadrian Golson 3, Taekwondo Tracy 4, Shakur Williams 5, Emmanuel Archibald 6, Michael Campbell 7, Sitali Kakene of Zambia in 8. So this is section B, final B of the men's 100 meters.
In lane number 7, 10.07 at his best, represented Jamaica.
Kadrian Golson
World Championships in 2017.
and Taekwondo Tracy,
And in lane 8,
both
representing Racers, 10:31 at his
heat
best,
winners earlier,
from Zambia, Sitali Kakene.
next to each other in lanes 3 and 4. Dunkley, Smith, Golson, Tracy, Williams, Archibald, Campbell, and Kakene.
Sent off.
And called back. So that's call back there for the men lined up for this B final of the men's 100 meters, the penultimate race of the Velocity Fest 17. Only the A final in the men's event to come. So the official there with the cards in her hand. Let's see what is her ruling.
9.90 seconds set by Carlos Mbini, the South African. Second fastest, 9.99. Another South African, Mayanda Walaza.
So she walks to lane 8. That's Kakene, the Zambian athlete, representing Racers, and he's out. So that's Sitali Kakene, the Zambian athlete, gets a disqualification. And the rest of the athletes back to their marks. So it's Dunkley, Smith, Golson, Tracy, Williams, Archibald, Campbell, Kakeni in lane 8 is out. Another false start here in this B final. And of course, it's not a track meet at the National Stadium without drama. So again, we watch as the athletes walk back to the start of the men's 100 meters, and we wait to see what the officials decide if another athlete gets disqualified. So we wait and see. A glimpse at the men's triple jump while we wait, and a red card shown to Kadrian Golson, and it seems like yes, a red card, and he is speaking to meet director Bruce James. Not happy with that result, I think. Suggesting that something is wrong with the blocks. So they are negotiating. And he still stands in lane 3. Looks like he's running.
Adrian Golson, credited with a false start. He runs under protest.
Oh, so he's running under protest. Dunkley, Smith, Golson, Tracy, Williams, Archibald, and Campbell.
Sent off. Third time of asking.
Smith out well in lane 2. Ashani Smith there of dynamic speed, and Archibald at the Guyanese running well there. And it's Emmanuel Archibald, 29, the Guyanese athlete. Representing Swept, 10:27, the official time for Archibald, and Smith, Ashani Smith, 10.37 seconds for second, negative 1.8 meters per second, the wind speed, and Taekwondo Tracy in third, 10.40 seconds. So Emmanuel Archibald winning final B in 10.27 seconds. Ashani Smith, 10.37 seconds, and Taekwondo Tracy, 10.40 seconds. Javon Dunkley, fourth in 10.41 seconds. Kadrian Golson running under protest in 10.43 seconds. And
now time for the A final.
We'll now be moving on to the 100-meter A final. And it seems that DeAndre Daly and Julian Ford, will not start. And it will be Marcellus Moore from the US, O'Dane McPherson from Sprintech, Brian Level from Optimum, Akeem Blake from Dynamic Speed Track Club, Nigel Ellis from Elite, Javari Thomas from Dynamic Speed Track Club.
In the triple jump, let's wait on that mark.
Only 6 athletes will be competing.
Can he better that Jamaican leading performance, or will Brian Level have something to say about it? Here's the lineup. Has gone as fast as 9.97 seconds, but that was wind aided. That's what come from the SA.
only 6 athletes Starting in this A final, Marcellus Moore of USA in 1, O'Dane McPherson of Sprintech in 2, Brian Lavelle of Optimum Track Club in 4, Akeem Blake of Dynamic Speed Track Club in 5, Nigel Ellis Elite in 6, Javari Thomas of Dynamic Speed Track Club in 7. So that's Moore, McPherson, Lavelle, Blake, Ellis, and Thomas. Brian Lavelle 10.05, fastest wind legal time in qualifying. Akeem Blake and Nigel Ellis, Javari Thomas, focused, waiting eagerly for this men's 100-meter final. Moore, McPherson, Lavelle, Blake, Ellis, Thomas. Final race on the track. Men's 100 meters, A final. Moore, McPherson, Lavelle, Blake, Ellis, and Thomas. Clean start for Blake there in the purple. Running well in the middle is Akeem Blake, pulling away from the field, and Ellis going with him. 9.94 seconds for Akeem Blake. Positive 1.7 meters the wind speed. Positive 1.7 meters per second. Legal adjusted to 9.96 seconds for Akeem Blake. Season's best for Blake, 9.96 seconds for Akeem Blake to win the final race, the A race of the men's 100 meters here at the Velocity Fest 17. Nigel Ellis, 10.117 seconds, and Brian Lavelle third, 10.19 seconds. Marcellus Moore of USA, 10.21 seconds for fourth. Javari Thomas rounds out the top 5 in 10.24 seconds. Akeem Blake, your winner, in 9.96 seconds.
A big hand for Akeem Blake, ladies and gentlemen. And what a fine way to bring an end to what has been.
So that was the final race of the Velocity Fest 17. You're watching Jay Dublow Sports. And thank you for tuning in. And live results available for you on Rasta Athletics. And my name is Danielle Dowie alongside Naja
Williams.
Thank you for joining us. And
thank you so much for your kind sponsorship. Of course,
our sponsors as well: Water World Class Athletics, Grace, KFC, Sports Development Foundation, Powerade, Mighty Malt, On the Run, sponsors of the Velocity Fest 17. Concludes on a high, 9.96 seconds in the men's 100 meters by Akeem Blake.
All right, stream is officially ended.